What I loved most about the program was definitely the ability to try out so many different areas and get an understanding of where I want to go in the future and where I want to sort of steer my career path towards, and also just the opportunity to travel all the way around the state.
I liked most about the graduate program the fact that I could get out there with the field staff. I could see how things worked in the day-to-day. I got to help them pull apart transformers and switchgear and all that sort of stuff, understand how it worked, and then went back to the office and actually looked at the design side of things, our tender specs, and what our requirements are for that switchgear and our maintenance cycles. And to see the whole life cycle cost of that asset is truly remarkable.
So I rotated through 6 sections during my graduate program. I started off in system control, and then I moved into project management, where I looked after a project through the design and development phase of the project, and it was a project to do with upgrading of a zone substation out at Roxbury. After the project management rotation, I moved into zone substations and transmission services, and some of the things we did were condition monitoring and maintenance of various pieces of equipment out on the network. Got to travel around the state quite a bit. Actually ended up going up to Ballina one day, and we did a replacement of a big transformer there. Then after that rotation, I moved into demand management. So during demand management, or during my time in demand management, we looked at alternative solutions to network upgrades. So instead of looking at upgrading the poles and wires, we looked at putting solar systems or batteries and renewable things at the end of the lines. And then following on from that, had a bit of a gap year and went overseas and learned a bit of Mandarin, but that was more of a personal thing for me. And then when I returned, I moved into the network strategy and risk section. And while I was there, basically we look at things like, if you've got a certain policy decision that you're looking at bringing forward through the business, you might risk assess all the different options as part of that business decision and work out which one from a risk perspective is the best one to go with. And other things we look at is if you're looking at investing in certain things in networks, so say if you're looking at investing in poles, or you're looking at investing in cross arms, or you might be looking at investing in zone substation pieces of equipment, you work out which one's the best value for money. So from a risk reduction perspective and also a cost perspective, which one we should go ahead with. And then finally, before taking the role permanently in the network strategy and risk section, I did a 4-month rotation through the protection department. So the way I think about the protection department is basically when a power line comes to the ground during a storm or something like that, there's got to be something that turns it off. And so when I was in the protection department, I learnt about the bits of equipment that actually ensure that the power gets turned off to that bit of equipment that's dangerous and on the ground and could potentially hurt people. So yeah, my 6 rotations were system control, project management, out in the field in transmission services, demand management, network strategy and risk, and protection.
The skills that I picked up with being part of the program was how to communicate to peers, a way to communicate in the technical as well as the layman. I found that it was crucial. Coming from an engineering degree, we only ever talk to the technical people. So to actually break problems down that make sense to engineers, to actually allow other people to understand the whole scope of the project and stuff, that was a real challenge, but it's something that has been crucial to the development as an engineer.
I think one of the best things about working for Essential Energy is the fact that you get to do an engineering role whilst being in the country. Myself, I'm not a city person, and I moved to Sydney to do uni, and it was okay, I didn't mind it, but apart from Essential Energy and mining, there's not a great deal of opportunity for electrical engineers in the country, and I think one of the best things about working here is just being able to live and work in a regional place and not have to deal with the stress of traffic and not being able to afford a house and just people. You can get out and just be with nature, and that's been something that's really fundamental for me.